going to do an everyday glowy face makeup, mostly focusing on the base makeup today. And I wanted to show you guys this routine because it's what I've been doing lately every day in my makeup routine. So I thought it would be fun to share. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? To start off with your glowy base, you definitely want to take care of your skin first, do a little skin prep. So what I did off camera before I started shooting this, I washed my face. I just used this cleanser from the drugstore, this Neutrogena oil-free acne wash. And then I always use toner. I kind of jump around with different toners, but lately I've been using the LEE COQ10 toner, and I really like this one. It's very gentle, but I feel like it's not drying out my skin. It's balancing everything out and my skin doesn't feel tight. And then next, you can definitely use whatever moisturizer that you like. It is the LEE Squalene, I think that's how you say it, Squalene oil. And so sometimes I use this with my moisturizer, usually at night, or I'll just use it by itself depending on how I feel that day. So I just put on the oil and I let it sink in for a few minutes. This is the LANCOME, I don't know how to say this, Genifique? Yeux? Genifique? I don't know how to say, I have no idea how to say this. But this is the LANCOME eye cream. This is a great like daytime eye cream because it's not too greasy and not too heavy to put underneath your makeup. I am going to start out with this Milk makeup, and it's an illuminating pore filler blur stick. I can't really speak for the pore filling qualities, but I can say that it does give your face a little bit more luminosity. It's definitely like silicone, like it's very slippery and it feels like that kind of thing. Next, we're gonna go into the foundation, which is really the CC cream that I've been talking about so much lately. This is the IT Cosmetics CC cream, and I'm almost out because that's how much I love it. I use it every time I do my makeup. Literally, I put it on just one pump and I just rub it into my skin. Sorry if you can hear the people upstairs. Like I said, I just rub this into my skin like a moisturizer, and it's so nice and easy to blend out. Like, I haven't even looked at a mirror yet, but I'm sure it is mostly blended into my skin. But this, guys, is so easy to blend out. It is so, and it makes your skin look so glowy and fresh. It's a winner. I'm going to jump into my Glossier Stretch Concealer. Love this concealer for a glowy base because it's just so hydrating underneath the eyes. Honestly, doesn't even look like you have concealer on. And I did say in my review of this video that it doesn't crease, and I do still agree with my statement that it doesn't crease, at least on me. It doesn't crease underneath my eyes, but if I do use it as a eyeshadow base, at the end of the day it does crease. So for that, I don't like using it as an eyeshadow base, but I will show you what I like to do instead. And I do like to put this concealer just a little bit underneath my nose because I get really red there. And then I do get the tip of my nose because that's where product just doesn't ever want to stay, is on my nose. Not done with the concealing step if you thought I was done. No. My Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I need to get a new one. This one is definitely almost done. This is the Fit Me, and I think the shade Light. So I used a little bit on my eyelids, obviously, to prime for eyeshadow, and then I just put a little bit more in the inner corner of my eyes, just because I get really dark there. So I'm just blending this out with my Real Technique sponge. And now we're going to set my face. And I'm using my RCMA. You guys, I'm almost done with this. It's been so long using this freaking powder. I do like it, like I've said bajillion million times before, but if you haven't seen me rant about it, I do like the product itself, but it is the packaging that just drives me up the wall. Cannot cope, so I won't be repurchasing this. But I just put a little bit on my sponge, and I don't powder my whole face. I just powder underneath my eyes and on top of my eyelid. And that's just so these areas won't crease. So I do get a little bit oily on my chin, so I will powder that just a little bit. I'll do around my nose. And when I say around my nose, I mean like the sides of my nose because I get very oily, and being super oily right there is not very cute. And I'll put a little bit right in the forehead, in the middle of my forehead. And that is essentially where I powder. So we're moving on to bronzer. I'm going to bronzer, as I've said before, I like to just add some color and structure to my face at the same time. I'm going to use this L'Oreal Lumi Bronze It, and this is the lightest shade. I don't know if it says what shade it is. Light Clair. It's a really beautiful sheen to it too. It's not completely matte. I'm just gonna take this albeit all over face brush and just really lightly dust my cheekbones and the high points of my face. And I'm not applying a ton of pressure because that's when you get kind of really heavy on the cheekbones, which I make that mistake all the time, and we definitely don't want that. We want a definitely more natural glowy look. So try not to be too structured in your application of the bronzer. If you do go too heavy-handed, that is okay, because I will show you a technique that I've also been doing lately that helps when I go a little too heavy on the powders on my face. We're going to move on to the blush. And this is a blush I literally used a million times, and I'm probably going to keep using it. It is the L'Oreal True Match blush. This is the shade Tender Rose. I'm just going to swipe that on the apples of my cheeks, blending upwards. I talked about this in my last video. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome in Molten Rose Gold. Taking a little stippling brush here, and I'm just going to lightly dab that across the cheeks and up to the brow bone in a little kind of swoopy semicircle. It's definitely going with the glow, but we're going to tone it down in just a second to make it more skin looking. And then I'm just putting it a little bit on my nose to highlight the nose, and then a little bit right here on my lip. And then what I like to do is get my pinky finger and put a little bit of that on my pinky, and just put a little bit of that in the inner corner. Just a little bizzle right in the inner corner. So base makeup is almost done. This step though is crucial to making it look really skin-like, getting rid of the excess powder, and just making it look very glowy and natural. You can use any kind of spray that you want. This is the Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray. I've used this for a few years now, and I think it smells so nice, and I love using it. So I'm going to basically douse my whole face with this. And it feels so good. And then I'm going to take my already moistened beauty sponge, and I'm going to just lightly dab it around my face. And this is picking up any excess powder and really lightly pushing in any of the powders into the skin, so everything looks very skin-like. It doesn't look really cakey or powdery. Like, just look at that highlight. It looks like it's just your skin, like you're just so dewy and glowy naturally. So that is my base makeup. You can stop here if you don't do mascara or anything and you just want a fresh face. You can do whatever you want here on out. The rest is up to you, but I'm going to show you the rest of the products that I've been loving to use lately in my everyday makeup routine when I actually go out and wear makeup. So next I'm going to go on to eyebrows. This is the Glossier Boy Brow. It's a gel and a pomade. I feel like I had a baby and made this product. I forgot to talk about this in my last video where I mentioned favorites. This is the Glossier Lid Star, and I've really enjoyed this. So I just like to put it on almost, it has like an almost lip gloss applicator, like has a doe foot and a wand, and you kind of just paint it on to your eye. It doesn't really have like a glossy effect, it's more like a sheer shimmery effect. And then I just pat it out. And as you can see, it's like a very light rose situation. And there, and I'm done. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of eyeliner. I love to do this just on the upper lash line just to make it a little more defined. This is the PIXIE Silky Eye Pen, and this is in bronze. I think it's just bronze. It's so creamy that like, if you put too much pressure on it, it's just gonna like, and I'm just kind of smoking it out along the lash line because I applied it way too heavily, so I gotta just disperse the product a little bit with this brush. And then I'm just gonna take the excess and just put it along my lower lash line, just really lightly, just to define it ever so slightly right here. Then I'm just going to use the Benefit's They're Real mascara and do a couple coats of that on my lashes. And then I've talked about this before in my other videos, but what I like to do with my bottom lashes is just stamp it right at the root, and that way it's kind of defining my lower lash line, but I'm not doing like a lot of mascara down there, otherwise it'll just create a huge mess and give me raccoon eyes at the end of the day. And then I also got mascara on my eyelid. For the final step, I'm going to use these two together. I talked about this in my last video as well. These are the LANCOME Matte Shakers, and this is the shade Sea Sand and Sun. Just going to give it a good shake here. This is a really pretty nude. It's almost like a Barely There kind of nude lip color. You know, I was going to add the other lip color, but I'm actually good with how these lips look by themselves, so I'm not going to add the other lipstick. I'm just going to leave it at the matte shaker and call it good. Alright guys, that concludes my glowy skin recent makeup look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you want to see it every time I upload a video, don't forget to click that little bell in the corner. That way, every time I upload, you will be notified. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.